Hey guys, what's up? Green Machine Sam back with another video, and today we do have the off season for season 2 of Georgia Southern Eagles. Now, of course, with a disappointing end to the season, losing 3 of our last 4 games, ultimately missing out on both the conference championship, losing in a bowl game, and just really having a disastrous last part of the season. It does suck, but we do have some upgrades and reinforcements incoming this time around as well. So let's go ahead and get into things. We already checked out job offers. I already said that I'm not going to manage the upgrade coach skills until we know what we have at the end of this off season. I just don't want to touch it yet and, end up putting points towards the wrong thing. Now, of course, we do have some weeks that we just need to sim through for the most part. Coach Carousel, I don't really care about at this moment. I don't really care to see who goes where. None of our coordinators got picked up, so it's not that important to really make note of any coordinator changes or coach changes in general, but still. Don't really care about the national championship. It doesn't involve us, so who really gives a fuck at that point? Pro potential goes up to a B-, coach stability down to a C+. Coach prestige does go up to a B, so all the players that were potentially about to leave will be staying, and those players will go off of the, of course, transfer likelihood scenarios and stuff like that. So that is the good news. Manny Baskerville ends up committing to us before we even have to get to the off-season stuff. I totally forgot to go check out season stats. I really hope it didn't reset it for now. So JC French with 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, 11 picks, 57 completion percentage. He definitely needs to play a little bit better as well as just a little bit faster. OJ Arnold, 920 yards on 196 reps, 4.7 yard average, 5 touchdowns. JC French, 93 rushes, 242 yards, 2.6 average, 5 touchdowns. None of the running backs got going, just nobody worth noting at all, really. Bunkley Shelton is the only guy to reach 1,000 yards, has 5 touchdowns as well. He'll be leaving, he'll be graduating. I think he won't be getting drafted either. Walton, 520 yards. Cobb, 633. Josh Dallas, 445. McHale, 119. So decent spreadage, but as we get the pass yards up, of course receiving yards will go up too, and hopefully pass and receiving touchdowns go up as well. Clancy and Wright, of course, letting up the most sacks, followed by Wembley. Wembley's the only guy that's probably going to get drafted, but still, sacks aren't that big of a deal to me. The way that Joe Burrow described it, like sometimes you just got to take a sack. Sometimes every now and then you're just going to take a sack. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the outcome of the drive, whether it's an incompletion or a sack at that point. Isaac Walker with 10 sacks. Deshaun Davis with 7.5. Really disappointing second half of the season for Deshaun Davis. He had like 4 or 5 within the first 5 or 6 games. So kind of disappointing end to the season for him. Nobody else really worth noting. Nasir Smith, a freshman redshirt speed rusher, got 4.5. So hopefully he'll continue to improve. Prince Green, somebody that had 2 picks in the two final games of the season. When he did get picks, he did return it 163 yards, 40-yard average for interceptions. Mathis had 3, Ellis had 3, McDowell had 3, Brown had 2, and Hicks had 1. Defensive touchdowns, I don't really care about fumbles at this point. We only had 1 from Prince Green. Forced fumbles, we had a total of 5, recovering 6, so don't understand that, but whatever. Kicking, Fulcer wasn't bad. I don't think he was bad at any point. 17 for 25. Some of those were definitely more my fault than anything. Perfect on extra points. He'll definitely improve over the next season. Alex Smith also looks pretty good as well. No kick return touchdowns and no punt return touchdowns. So nothing too spectacular there. I don't think anybody broke any records. We'll go ahead and check out the coach stats just to show you guys where we're at this point. We are 16-10 through the 2 seasons. We are 2-2 against our rivals. We are 2-1 versus top 25, and we are 1-1 within bowl games. We definitely have a safe job right now, but we are looking to continue to improve as a team and continue to grow in the correct directions. Go ahead and take a look at the coach contract. So the goal was to win 4 games. We won out and won 8 again, so that's why coach prestige is going up, and we are looking at a better program. Players leaving, though, this will be a difficult part because we are losing some pretty valuable players. Bunkley Shelton, Isaac Walker, Joshua Thomas, and Bullard, not really the biggest options there. Rhodes, again, not the biggest option. Wembley, I'm surprised isn't at least getting a 7th round draft grade, as well as Deshaun Davis now that he's up to an 84. But hey, whatever. Davon Hicks, I think, would get picked up in real life. I think Wembley, I think Davis, I think Bunkley would get picked up. I think Walker would get picked up in some capacity. So not anybody too notable. OJ Arnold's going to be gone. Dalen Cobb, Prince Green, Colton Fitzgerald, Justin Myers, Titus Jackson, Chance Campbell, Caleb Cook, Deontay Morris, of course, Davon Hicks, Evan Lester, and Tyrell Davis. So, like I said, the reason why we went after a bunch of safeties is because we did lose, I think, like 4 of the 5. So, kind of crazy. We will head to the next week so we can get into, of course, recruiting and getting more players into the building. Jermaine Pinkney, I think. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that last name. We are rising on his board. Wembley does get drafted in the 6th round. I think Deshaun Davis would probably get drafted in the 7th. I just think he would be too valuable for somebody to let drop out of the draft and go to priority free agency. We are in on all the guys that we wanted to be on right now. Wood we're still not in on, so we might have to send some points his way. Stammer as well. I think we're out on Morton. I think we can probably just take him off the board at this point. I think West Virginia is going to go heavy after him, and I'm not too interested in bringing him in. Anybody that we're in the lead on, I think I'll leave. Dalton, for some reason, is rising back up. We were behind on him going into the last week of the season. We do still need to lock up Waddy, so that is one of the guys that I definitely need to lock up. I definitely like him a lot, as well as Stammer and, of course, the two quarterbacks. I think I'm going to bring both of them in, to be fair. Transfer portal, I'm not 100% set on bringing like a bunch of guys in, unless there's somebody that, of course, we can go out and get. Jeremiah Smith, by the way, is heading to the transfer portal. He is leaving number 2 Ohio State to potentially go to Miami, Clemson, or Georgia. Crazy. 4 stars. There are a couple interested in us. Green, a run-stopping defensive tackle. Donnelius Johnson, Marcus Washington, Vic Burley, and Bo Masco. I don't know if we need corners. I don't think we do, right? So it was middle linebacker, 2 D tackles, and 2 corners, right? So we can go ahead and take a look at the team and just show what we have, right? Now, of course, there is going to be some differences, right? Middle linebacker, we're definitely weak at, but we definitely have talent developing. Linebacker, we're just overall not very good, right? I don't think Stroud is the option. He only has 75 speed. I think he would be a cut candidate if we have too many guys. Hammond, he's going to be a senior. He's a potential cut candidate. We have 3 guys at middle linebacker I don't mind. CJ Allen isn't the greatest, but he'll definitely work for now. And then Whitehead's okay, but I don't think he's the answer either. Wooden, I'm hoping both the Wooden brothers, or cousins, however you want to describe them, I'm hoping those guys can develop. D tackle, I think Fall could be a cut candidate. I think Pikes could be a cut candidate. It would really just come down to how much the other guys will develop. To be fair, how much are they going to develop? That's really the biggest question at this point. And then corner, we do have some guys. We have Antavius Murphy, who we'll get this year. Elijah McDowell. So as long as he progresses, we can go ahead and look at his caps real quick just to make sure. He's not completely capped out, but his caps are pretty low. Mathis is still young. Jaquari Brown's still young. Lewis will end up getting this year as well. And then we will, of course, get Joseph Callaway as well, who's going to be developing. So we definitely could look at all 4 of the transfer guys, well, all 5 of the transfer guys, and really determine what we want to do with them. And depending on where we're kind of at in their interest, I think will also determine a lot of what we do here, right? If we're down the board on them, I don't think I'm going to worry about it too much. Just putting that out there. And I'm definitely more interested in the middle linebacker than anybody, just because, like I said, we're kind of not really deep at that position in terms of just like pure talent that can win right, help us win right now. Green, I'm actually interested in. He's a sophomore. Johnson, he's not the fastest, but I'm not going to be playing a whole ton of defense. Marcus Washington's not bad. Vic Burley isn't bad, especially with his abilities. And then Bo Masco is not bad either. I think I'm just going to send scholarships to all 5 of them at this point, and we'll see where we're at. I might send like 40 points to each of them. Maybe just... I can't send them on visits because we don't have their fucking motivations unlocked yet. I wish I could, but I can't at this current moment. I'm going to be honest. Let's see. Bringing in 2 quarterbacks at least. I think Melvin Tam, I think we're going to take off at this point. Yeah, he just isn't good enough for me. I'm just going to be real about that right now. We can always go try to find him. I think Ludwig and Ruffin are 2 very good running backs. I'm just going to take Dalton off. I don't really want Dalton, to be fair. DeVito isn't bad. I just don't think I'm necessarily going to go after him. I'm just going to take guys off that I know I don't want, so we can open up a couple more spots here and there. I definitely need to look at more interior offensive linemen, by the way, before we can really move forward. I am bringing in Tremaine Poutasi, so that is something to think about, but both these guys can be win-now type of guys. We are bringing in plenty of safeties, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm not worried about the kicker or punter this year. That will be a next year issue. So I think Dexter Wood is like one of the guys that I'm not too keen on bringing in. It's not somebody that I'm like worrying about. So Waddy, I'm going to give 50 points off bat. He should commit. He should commit this first week. Bono, I'm not too worried about. If somebody wants to come get him, they can come get him. I'm not too worried about him. Ernest, I'm also going to give 50 points to. Tremaine Pickney, I'm going to give 25 to. He's not my main guy. Barry, I'm going to give 65 to. I need to get him. That is a guy that I need to get. Stammer, I think we actually had on a sell, if I'm not mistaken. So he has 8, 4, and F. Never mind. We definitely did not have him on a sell. Waddy, I don't think we had on a sell either because it's 6'2", no, 6'3", and 7. Yeah, no. Okay, so we didn't have either one of them on sales. I'm going to go ahead and send Green 75 points because I think he'll be an impact guy. Neelius Johnson, I'm going to send 52. Washington, I'm going to send 52. Burley, I'm going to send 52. And Masco, I'm going to send 52 as well. If for some reason we kind of get beat out right away on any of these guys, I'll draw the points back and I'll end up sending them to different people. Waddy, I don't need to send extra points to. Barry, I'm already sending the max points to. I'm going to just send some extra towards Pickney then. And Stammer. And then I think I'll use the rest to kind of look and see where we're at on a lot of the guys. I like Masco, but we're just so far down the board. I don't know if I want to spend all the extra points. I'll send him 5 extra for now. And if we find a prospect that we liked, we can take the points off of him and end up trying to get somebody else. I do kind of want to bring in an offensive lineman just in case. If there's a young one that might be pretty good, I might be more willing to. 6'3" freshman pass protector. I don't really love my guards to be pass protectors, and I don't really want a 1-star either. So I personally like Isaac Rue here. I'm going to offer him. And then Riley Robel isn't bad. 3-star, agile, sophomore. I just don't know if he's the answer. Tackle. 6'6" junior. No, thank you. Some of these guys are still definitely real guys as well, so that's something to keep in mind. I think that's it for transfer. I don't think I really want to offer anybody else from the transfer portal. I think I'd rather bring in more freshmen at this point. More high school guys. I'm going to look at guard here, see what's left on the market. Not a ton. Maybe center has a couple extra options. There are some agile guys. Pass protectors, agile. Here's a power. And another power, so we'll look at them. Offensive tackle, I would assume, are basically locked up at this point. Eric Proctor. What other positions do we kind of need at this point? I think receiver might be the last position that we kind of need at this point. This we will have to scout, though. Offensive linemen I'm not too worried about because they're normally not bad, per se. They're just sometimes not great. Charles Mercant, I would love to go look at, but he already has offers, and it looks like he's about to lock into his top 8, so I'm not going to even bother with him at this moment. I'm looking for deep threats. Deep threats normally turn out a little bit better for me. Not seeing a whole ton that I like or are willing to really look at. Denson we're kind of high on. We're 8, so I'm going to look at him, and I'm going to look at Lee Wood. They're both 6'5", kind of bigger guys. I am going to spend the points. So I'm going to take the 5 off of Bo and send him to Rue. I'm not even going to scout Rue at this point. I'm just going to bring him in at this point if we can. And then I'm going to scout George, who is a gem, and James. So I need to find 5 points for him. I'm going to take 5 off of... I'm going to take a little... Is anybody really going after him? Not really. So I'm going to take the 10 off as well so I can send some extra points to people. Send him 5. And send him 5. We should, like I said, get some major points back as we move through the rest of the offseason. Because we should get Sammer pretty fast. And we should get Waddy pretty fast. Be able to get those points back as well as some of the scouting points that we spent on, some of the transfers and stuff. Because that's, almost 100 points and over 120 points that we should get back. So not too bad heading into the first week. Like I said, if we definitely start losing out on some of the transfers, I think I'm going to take the points off and just strictly focus on bringing in a lot of guys. So there's Waddy. Fine locks us out, so we're not going to be able to go after him, and Denson also locks us out. So immediately losing out on 2 guys we just put on the board. So take Denson off. We're losing out on Fine, which really sucks, especially considering he is a gem at this point. Isaac Rue, I'm going to put more points on. Just being real about that. Bo Masco, we're in the lead on. I'm going to send him 20. I'm going to send him an extra 10. I'm going to send Burley an extra 10. I'm going to send Washington an extra 10. And Johnson. Unless we're losing out on anybody. Johnson is the only guy we're really losing out on currently at the moment. Am I really willing to spend the extra points on him? I think it's probably the smart move to go get him. Add some transfer portal pieces to our team. Rue, I'm going to send the extra 10 to as well. We can check out Proctor. I don't know how good he's going to be. Not really anything special. Spencer Dozier. Oh, yeah. Fucking Spencer Dozier. That's the guy we need. 6'3", 96 fucking speed. Yes, please. God damn, that's what we fucking need right there. So, Bono I'm not too worried about. We can definitely make a push for him late. DeVito, not worried about. Iglesias, not worried about. Wood, not worried about. Nobody's offering on him yet. James and Proctor, I'm not too keen on bringing in. James wouldn't be bad, just not great. Would like to check out a couple more positions and potentially just offer people scholarships before the deadline of the last week, but that's all the points for this week anyway. So, sim to the next week. Eric Proctor locked us out. That's fine. Spencer Dozier, we're top 2. Virginia Tech's going heavy after him. I need to really fucking ramp up my game on him then. I'm going to send him as many points as I possibly can. And if we even have one of his interests unlocked, I'll probably end up sending him on a visit if we can. Some of these other guys I need to kind of look at and see if we can also sell on. We can sell on Burley, and we do have a good sell on him. So we can sell on him, and I don't really have to add the points back because it is a decent sell. Because it's an A, 2 A pluses and a B minus. That's a very good sell. Washington I can't sell on. Johnson I can't sell on. Green I could potentially sell on. I just got to find the right one for him. So it's proximity and play style. So it could be conference prestige, which is a D+. Or it could be this. So actually I can't sell on him because I don't know which one it is. And if I send him one that he's not interested in, it backfires even more. So actually I do have to wait on Green, unfortunately. Wish I could sell on him. Greason, C-, B-, and a B-. So that's 8 plus 8. So even the extra 2 that I'm getting would average it out to a C+. So I could sell on him. It wouldn't make too big of a difference. It would just come down to points at that point. Tremaine, I'm not too worried about. We should be able to get him. Stammer, I'm not too worried about either. Like I said, a lot of these guys I'm just not worried about. I think I should be able to get a lot of them. I think it would make sense just to sell him. Just do it. Fuck it. It's 21. It should technically work, right? 8 plus 8 plus 5. So 16 plus 5, 21. Yeah. That does unlock a couple extra points for us. We can send 5 more to Dozier. I really just got to hope that Virginia Tech it doesn't have more, more time invested into him at this point. Lee Wood isn't bad. He is also a gem, and we could take off the other receiver then. Yeah, we could take off DeVito if we really wanted to in the last week, which would probably be the move. I'm going to send Lee Wood 15 points right now. I'm going to send James Avosius. I'm going to send him a couple extra points just to try to get him here. Bono, I'm not 100% needing him, but send him 5 points. See if we can just get him. I don't know if I can really do anything else here. Actually, take the 5 points off Bono. I'm going to send the extra. I'm just going to send 25 to Lee at this point. And then fuck it. Hopefully we'll have a couple players decided on where they want to go going into the last week, and we can maybe spend it on scouting some extra guys and really just trying to fill out the rest of the board. We are only at 32, so that is something to keep in mind. So, okay, heading into week 4. I really got to hope a couple guys do sign. I need to get a couple extra guys. Ernest Stamina's in. Green's in. Johnson's in. Vic is in. We did lose out on Rue. Unfortunately, he's going to Bama. Damn, Bama really went heavy after him. James is also locking us out. That's fine. Take those 2 guys off the board. We should have a ton of hours. Yeah, 360, 385. So take James off the board. Take Rue off the board. Masco we should get. I'm gonna lock him up. I'm gonna send him the extra 5 that we can. Send Marco the extra 5 we can. I can technically schedule him for a visit if I really want to. If I don't think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna lock these 2 guys up. We have decent sells on them. This should lock them up. So we should be able to get those 2. Barry, we should get. We should get Barry. I'm just gonna leave it for now. I'm not gonna visit. I'm not gonna send him on a visit. Tremaine, we should get. We're vastly in the lead. I don't think anybody would be able to catch us at this point. Bono, I don't. We've jumped back up. Send him 10 then. DeVito, send him 5. Do we really need DeVito is the question, right? Because we're already bringing in 3 receivers then. If we can get Dozier and Woods. Because Dozier, do we even have a sell on him yet? No. D+. Fuck. And I can't sell on him either right now. I'm just going to have to hope that Virginia Tech doesn't have fucking something that can just beat the fuck out of me right now. I'm going to take the 25 off of Lee Wood and send him 65 instead. So yeah, I don't need DeVito then. If I'm getting Dozier, if I'm getting Woods, and if I'm getting Burns, I don't need DeVito. So take him off for now. Just remember, I can go back and grab him. I will have to offer him a scholarship, so I will need 5 points to do so. Wood, I'm fine with bringing in. He's not anything special, but he's fine. Iglesias. How many offensive linemen do we have? We have 2 tackles lined up. Bono and Iglesias would make 4. Yeah, fuck it. Just send Iglesias 5 points. We did not hit the offensive line like at all, which is not good news at all. I know we missed out on a couple guys that I'm like really upset about, but holy shit. Okay, this is how the final board's going to go. I've spread my points pretty thin, but this is going to be how it has to be. Tyrone, I think we can get with minimal points. I think Troy's kind of out. They haven't even offered a scholarship, so I think we should be able to get him. They might just be going strictly based off of pipeline at this point and showing like 5 points, like searching social media. George, we should be able to get. I don't think FAU is going to be able to bounce back. Dexter Wood, we're supposed to be able to get. Pickney and Barry, we should be able to get. Tremaine and Pickney and Barry, we should be able to get. Marcus, we should be able to get. I did schedule a visit, so he should be good. 65 points as well. Bo, scheduled a visit. 65 points as well. Should be able to get him. Spencer, really got to hope we can get him. Nothing else I can do here. Just nothing else. Lee Wood, also hoping we can get with the 65 points. Did find a 4th receiver, Jaleel Plogel? Decent. Gem guy. Like 92 speed, 89 acceleration, physical, 6'2", 195. Looks good, right? Going after just whatever guys we can get off of the transfer portal. Jaquan, Riley, Carmelo, and Devin. If we can get those guys, totally fine. If not, whatever. I'm just going to leave them as is. That should do it for us. This team looks good enough. I think if we can get at least half the guys that are on the board right now, I think I'll be fine. I really want the receivers. I really want the transfers. Other than that, I don't really care. Now, granted, that makes up 90% of the board that's left, but still not too bad. So let's go ahead and sim the week then. Who did we get? Did we get everybody we wanted? Marcus Washington, that was given. Bo, that was given. George, that was given. Barry, that was given. Lee, yes. Jaquan, yes. Riley, yes. We missed out on the fucking receiver, didn't we? Yes, we did. It doesn't say. It doesn't say who won on the receiver that I actually give a fuck about. Who won? Who won on the receiver I gave a fuck about? So Smith and Overton, I knew were long shots anyway. I just wanted to try to go after them. We did get Dozier. Thank the fucking Lord. And we did get Bono as well. So after all that time, Bono still ends up signing with us. He's like, you know what? Georgia Southern has shown me a little bit more respect than Troy. I'm going to sign with them. So we get a class of 32. I tell you what. Offensive line's going to have to get like a complete overhaul next year. That's definitely one thing that we're going to have to look at. That and running backs, I feel like, are going to be the 2 main positions. But overall, not too terrible, not too bad. Definitely looking good for us. Just being real about that. So we'll just go through the depth traits real quick. Ludwig, star. Putassi, normal. Roquan, impact. Dion Bayer, elite. You know what? Let's go position by position. So let's go Tremaine Pickney, impact, like I said. Barry, star, awesome. 2 guys that are going to be impact players probably in a year or 2. Dalton Ludwig, star. Terrence Ruffin, impact. Boom, boom. Back-to-backs. Percy Burns, impact. Spencer Dozier, impact. Lee Wood, impact. Jaleel, impact. Which one of you guys would be at least star? John Raymond, star. Bradley Shockey, impact. Landman, impact. Bono, impact. George, normal. Bolden, normal. But Bolden should be a higher overall. Wood, normal. Riley as well, normal. Marco, star. Elliott, star. Green, star. Burley, star. Waddy and Stammer, elite and impact. Right, that's it, star and star? Yeah. Johnson, impact. Tremaine Putassi, normal. Star for Washington, impact for Bo. And then elite, impact. Elite, normal. Let's fucking go. That is a recruiting class and a half for us. Nothing too spectacular, but still nothing too bad either. That is definitely a step in the correct direction. We'll have to take a look at position changes and stuff like that as well to really look and see what we need to do. I do need to look at D-backs next year as well as linebackers, and we'll end up finishing out just everything for this. I don't really care about kickers and punters. That's something we'll look at the end of the next season. I am going to open up tactician because that is the next skill tree that we are going to go to. So we'll just go ahead and get that opened up for us. And then position changes. I don't think there's anybody of too big of a note that we need to be changing. Masco is an 83 coming in as a senior. We could definitely redshirt him if we need to. Overall, the quarterbacks look pretty good. I don't plan on moving anybody. The only person I'd even consider is Walt Merriman, but he's not really good enough to go play anywhere else. So I'm not too worried about moving him right now. Honestly, depending on how well Baker, Foss, and Anderson develop, I could honestly be considering moving off of David as well. I just don't know if he's the guy. Josh Dallas, depending on how much he develops, could definitely get cut if necessary. Dorsey, I need Browning to develop. That is somebody who I need to develop going into the next year, as well as hopefully David. But receiving core definitely looking barren. It's definitely going to be an offensive side of the ball scouting fest next year. Tight end isn't looking too great. Tackle's looking fine. Gonna have to move a couple guys around here or there just to kind of get the offensive line balanced out a little bit. Bolden just not as high of an overall as I thought he was going to be. I thought hopefully like high 70s. Just not quite there. Okay. I got all the position changes done, and I figured instead of just boring you and having to do math and stuff while I was going over all the position changes, I figured I'd go ahead and get it done. So I got the athletes moved to their correct positions. Of course, Barry and Tremaine going to quarterback. Running backs, you may notice that a couple people are gone. Now, I did go ahead and move people to defensive tackle. The reason being is because sometimes the game does not allow you to cut below a certain limit of players, and it's easier to move them and then cut them later and potentially move them back to positions if you care about them enough to move them back to positions. So we are at 98 people. I went through and did the math, so we have to cut 13. Right now at the defensive tackle position, I have 9 that I'm going to cut. It's probably leaning Fall. It's probably leaning Pikes and down. So Hammond, Dorsey, McHale, David, Deshaun, Gaines, Oscar, and Zach Scales, the kicker that we accidentally got last season. So this is how the team is shaking out. Just based off of overall positions of need, McDowell and Tracy Hill will be moving back to free safety, and Aiden Jackson will be moving back to strong safety to help out Christian Ellis on the back end. So the true transfers are going to be competing for the same spot because I don't think I'm going to be playing any of the freshmen right away. Gibbs, Baker, and Foss will be the lead backs. I'm hoping Foss takes a big step and hopefully he can be the main back. If not, Gibbs is still available for at least another year. Dallas, Wooling, Browning, Buchanan, David, and Mays will be the 6 receivers that we're going to be running with. Dozier, Burns, and Lee Woods will be pushed to redshirt. If you did not notice when we were sitting at corner, Jaleel, the guy that we got last second, is actually a decent corner. So we are going to have him start off on the defensive backside of the field, and we will see where it goes from there. And then we do have a couple extra people we can cut, depending on who we are feeling. Braden Palmer's on the chopping block. Matthew Williams is on the chopping block as well. One of the tight ends could be on the chopping block, as well as Buchanan could be on the chopping block if absolutely necessary. So there are still guys that are on the chopping block, just depending on what positions will allow us to cut, as well as what positions won't allow us to cut, and so on and so forth. Now, I am going to make a save here, because if we don't, it sometimes fucks up in regards. So I'm hoping we don't have to come back to this, but I'm making a save because sometimes when you add certain people to position groups, this is kind of what killed one of my dynasties. I don't know, it wouldn't let me advance. So I'm just going to make sure we have a save point so that if I need to, I can go change people back and eventually cut them from a different position, of course. So we're not going to take a look at training results, just in case I do have to come back to this point, because if you do not know, training results are all RNG based. I've seen players, I've done it where I went through one training for one season and they got a plus 13, and then I went through it again on a different save and they got a plus 2 to their overall. So it's really RNG based, right? So encourage transfers. This is the tough part. 98 players. So, like I said, there are some players that we're more willing to cut. JC French hasn't developed. Neither one of the other two quarterbacks developed. Frederick Foss didn't develop enough, but I think I'm still going to be running with him a lot. Mays didn't develop at all. Buchanan didn't develop at all either. David developed a little. Jordan Woolen developed a little. And Deion Browning will be that big guy to come in and help us out. Semple did not develop, and neither one of the back tight ends developed either. Matt Williams isn't bad. I'm going to keep him for now. We'll come back to him. I'm not going to start cutting people until I know exactly what I want to do. Backup tackles don't look bad in Weeks and Maddox. I forgot to look at AJ Powell. AJ Powell's not bad either. We could cut Williams if we needed to. Palmer, I think it's a done deal at this point to cut. I know Seca's a little slower, but he's a much higher overall. I think it's Palmer's time to get cut. So Braden Palmer, I'm sorry, but you're out. Defensive tackle, we'll just go down the list. Scales, Woods, JP McHale, Hammonds is gone, Oscar Ramirez is gone, Pikes is gone, David's gone, Dorsey's gone, Jashawn is gone, Zier, Magnum, our real D tackles, Rorton, Refreno, MJ Stroud is gone, and of course, I think I'm going to be cutting Fall. We'll come back to it though. Anders and Lacey are okay. They're fine for now. We'll keep all three of the middle backers. CJ Allen just isn't developing. Quancho +9 though, so he is looking good. Wooden up to a 73. Whitehead's up to a 79, so I'm glad I kept him around. We do still need to cut 2. So 2 players in total that need to get cut. Tracy Hill's on the chopping block. I would like to keep him though as of now. I got to keep all 3 running backs at this point. I can't run a 2-back system. I think it's Mays. Just being fair here. Buchanan's a little faster. But Mays, I don't know. It's just so difficult to cut these guys sometimes, you know. Mays has another season, but he hasn't developed. Who has just the best catching, I guess? 77 to 74. I think it's Mays here at this point. I don't think Buchanan will survive another season to begin with, so I'm going to let Carmelo Mays take his leave and potentially head out and hopefully find a new home going into the next season. I don't want to cut Fall. I might cut Buchanan and play some of the freshmen. Because we don't have any receivers after Buchanan. So I don't want to cut any of the corners. I like all of them. I don't want to cut Hill because he's going to play a decent role. CJ Allen maybe. Paris and Trey are coming off of red shirts, so it could be CJ Allen. He's just so fast and so good and can develop still. I don't see a reason to. Because I like Fall, but is he even going to get playtime? Because I'm probably going to be wanting to play the younger guys so that they can get XP. Like, I'm going to play these 2, the 2 transfers. Hakeem's going to play. Renfro's going to play. Rorton's probably going to play. So I think it just makes sense to cut Fall here. Let's do it. I can't justify cutting anybody else at this point. I know he's an 81. He's not going to get drafted. We don't have his red shirt, so it's not like we can keep him around for another year and potentially develop him even more. It just makes sense at that point. Gonna stick around in the SBC, the Sun Belt Conference, because we still have not won it. So I don't think we can successfully move on to a different conference if we're not winning it. So that should do it with the off season for the most part. We'll go ahead and get the recruiting board set up and custom scheduled before we hop into the next season. And then, of course, we will be taking a deeper dive into playing the games and so on and so forth in the next season. There are 5 stars available. I'm not going after any because I don't think I can realistically get any of them. We might actually go after 1 or 2. I lied. If I really wanted to go after somebody, I don't think I'd go after a quarterback. I think they are probably too hard to go get. Probably shouldn't go after Tam because we didn't end up bringing his brother in. That he probably wouldn't want to. Vi Mayo. Jesus Christ. The main position I would look at is running back. And I'm going to go after Averill. I'm going to try it. Receiver, I'm going to go after the deep threat. I'm just going to look at him. Just simple as that. Tackle, I could look at. Considering that we're locked out of the other offensive lineman, we're going to look at him then. Linebacker, if they have one. Lee De La Rose. I'm going to look at him. And that's about it. I'm going to then save. Because I don't need to go after too many 5 stars. Because I'm not going to have the points to go after everybody. Ty Ritzman, a free safety, first overall interest, 4-star. So we'll go after him. We'll look at the run stopper. We'll look at the strong safety. And we'll look at the corner since they're all interested in us. You do have to go by position sometimes. Because sometimes there are more than 300 prospects at the 4-star level. And it sometimes gets a little murky in there. I think I'm only going to look at one quarterback for now. I'm going to look at a couple 4-star running backs. I would like to look at power. Look at the athlete elusive. And the athlete power. For now. I think that's the most I'm going to do. Because we won't be able to scout everybody, I don't think. Just based off of, the points that we have available to us, unfortunately. We're still not at that level where we'll be able to look at every single guy. But we definitely need to look at 4 stars and 5 stars going throughout this. If we keep looking at 3 stars, we're just not going to progress well enough. Look at the 6'4 vertical. Going to look at this 6'4 vertical, the 6'5, the 6'6. And then offensive line needs to be hit incredibly hard. Brian, David, Whitaker, no thank you for now. Merrick, Onyemata. Look at some bigger guys as well as power guys. Kyle, Kevin, Timmy, Simon, Tristan, DeMarcus, Juan. And then what's one more position that's kind of undervalued right now? I would probably say middle linebacker, if not corner, at this point on our team. I think safeties will develop just based off of who we have. I think edges we're fine at for now. I think I might want to actually grab one edge, maybe, depending. Get Greg on there, maybe. And then, maybe a middle linebacker or 2 as well. Look for some pass coverage, guys. See what we can get with that. And then, fuck it, 2 corners. Pick out 2. And I just fucking took him off my board, so now I'm going to have to go grab him and scout him better. Let's grab this guy since we have a pipeline on him, and Zach as well. Okay, that should just about do it. So I do need to move Javion up here. Look at the 5 stars first. 93 speed. And remember, just because they're 5 stars doesn't mean we can't go after them. Leon is fucking impressive. Braden Briggs is impressive. Lee, holy shit. 94 speed at middle backer. Ty Ritzman, 91 speed. Jem. Ben Purvis. Not as good. 72 speed. Not bad, though. Could definitely play D-tackle, but I'm not too worried about D-tackle right now. Not really interested in Matthew Hurt just because of speed. Javon Gentle. He's going to move up the board. We do need to remember to save points, though, for Alani Latu. No thank you. Get off my fucking board, bitch. Logan Costello. Not quite the guy that we need. Deion Deal. Mitch Addington. Fuck it, let's scout the last running back. They're just all kind of similar. I definitely want to go after the 5-star, so I'm not too interested in any of them at this current state. Kyle. 95 speed. Our offensive coordinator needs to get his fucking skill tree up, by the way. Not a gem, though. Santiago. Not good. Going to go ahead and take him off the board. I'm going to skip over the tight ends for now. I'm going to go after the linemen. Ryan, get off my board. David. He's not bad. Caleb. Nobody's really gemming out right now, which is kind of unspectacular. None of you. We went through 5 offensive linemen and none of you are gemming out. Timmy. There we go. That's one. Okay, well, I got to start spending my points on putting scholarships on guys. So Timmy's getting a scholarship. Come back. I don't want to put too many scholarships down that we won't be able to, I'm going to put scholarships on all the 5 stars. Just to make sure. Ritzman, we're going to put a 5 scholarship on. Gentle, we're going to put a scholarship on. I don't really want any of the other running backs. Kyle, I think we kind of need to go after just because of where we're at with receivers currently. And then I'm going to pick 2 of the other offensive linemen that we have scouted to get fucking, I like Simon. I like Simon because he's 6'8". I don't care. And that should just about do it. We have 5 more points. Do we go after another running back? Right? I mean, we just brought 2 in. We have Frederick Foss. If we can get the 5-star, then we don't really need another running back because that would be 4. Because the 5-star could probably play almost immediately. So do I send it after another offensive lineman? Because we are losing both our tackles, one of our guards, all of our centers are getting older. I think it would be probably smart just to send it towards another offensive lineman at this point. I mean, but power backs can be linebackers. They do tend to turn into pretty decent linebackers. If I could just find like the fastest one. Mitch Addington maybe. I like Johnson though. I think downhill works better than head first. I could be wrong. So maybe Johnson then? Johnson looks the best. But I would rather spread my points at offensive line, I think, at this point. Like, no offense, but I need offensive linemen going into the next year. I need... If it shows lead block, that's what I really need. I don't think it will. As well as just who has the best, abilities as well. Onyemata has the most. Penn State is his top school, though. I'm going to have to compete against schools no matter what. It don't matter. Just fucking send it out. Let's go. So that should do it for recruiting, setting up that for now. We're going to take a look at the custom schedule. So we do have Louisville, Clemson, Jack State, and Houston as our non-conference games this year. Going against the same guys as always in the conference games. I want to get things started immediately. So we're going to take Houston off for now. For now, just in case. We do need to bring some of the other guys that we have faced in the past back. But I want to get a little cheeky win. UAB was kind of stealing my guys 2 years ago. I'm playing them. No question about it. I'm going to start off with them. Stanford, I think, is in the realm of possibility of beating based off of their overall. So we're going to go Stanford. I don't think I want to play Clemson. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think I want to play Clemson. I'm going to try to look at their overall real quick. Yeah, no, I don't fucking want to play Clemson. I'm sorry. I'm not fucking playing Clemson. I'm going to play Kennesaw State. We have Georgia State's already scheduled. We already have Kennesaw State scheduled as well. I think the only other one we could really do, because I don't want to schedule an FCS school at this point, is Georgia Tech. Go get our fucking revenge against them from a couple years ago. Schedule 2 top 25 teams. Hopefully we can beat them right off the gate, and then hopefully get our 2 Georgia games done. Fuck it, yeah, we'll have those 2 at our stadium, and then we'll go away. So that does look pretty good in my opinion. I think that would work out pretty good. I like having the bye weeks in 4 and 6. That's not too terrible. I think that should work out. 84 overall. I think that should work out plenty. Kennesaw State, we want to take the advantage of because not because like they're low overall, but because they did beat us in the first season, records tied 1-1. Georgia Tech beat us in the first season, so we're going to go take advantage of that. Stanford, I think we can beat, who is a top 25 school in UAB. I think those are both pretty realistic ones. I'm actually going to flip the Stanford in the Kennesaw game. I think we'll go to Stanford. I think that just makes it fair. I don't think a top 15 school would come to us, and I don't think they would fall outside the top 25 within the first week of the season. So I think that should do it. I think that really should do it. I think we'll look really good going up against UAB. Good test right off the gate. They were 10-4 last season. Stanford went 8-5 last season. Same record as us, 5-3 in their conference play as well. I think them being ranked top 15, I think we should have a good chance of going in there and beating them. And then we'll take Kennesaw State on at our home stadium. And then because we did win the last matchup, and then Georgia Tech will travel to them, have a bye week, conference game, bye week, conference games for the rest of the season. I think that should look very, very good and promising going into that. I'm going to look at preseason All-Americans. Let's see if any of our guys ended up getting any recognition, at least in the Sun Belt. I highly doubt any of them got recognition inside the national level. Lacey is apparently a preseason All-American. Vic Burley as well. So two of our defensive guys on first team. Deion Browning is already being considered a top receiver in the Sun Belt, only as a freshman, not playing last season. Colin Clancy, Robert Wright, Johnny Brown, Green, Danelius Johnson, Antavius Murphy, and Alex Smith. I understand all these are based off of just mainly overalls and not actually the gameplay or actually how they performed last season, but still just kind of a noteworthy thing to go over. But that should do it for the offseason. Pretty good offseason, not quite exactly how we wanted to turn out. Some positions were left a little bit more vulnerable than others. I think the offensive line is still going to be a decent issue going into the season. I think of the running backs, I don't think we have a solidified number one quite yet. And the receiving unit, not the greatest, but we should be able to develop them a little bit more. Just looking at overall the team, like I said, pretty good situation. I think French has one more season. Moffett, I won't be surprised if he gets some playing time as well as Walt Merriman at some point. Expect one of the two younger guys to get some playing time at some point, just depending on what type of situations we're in. Like I said, I want Foss to be the lead back. He's a lower overall, though, so we'll probably lean on Gibbs early on. Baker, I don't love because of his speed. The only reason why he was kept over a guy like David was because of he was younger, right? So Frederick Fall, Terrence Ruffin, and Dalton Ludwig might see some opportunities here and there as well. Not going to sit here and say that they won't see opportunities just because they're freshmen. Deion Browning, I'm going to need to step up, but overall, the team looks pretty good, heading in the correct direction. Not too surprising where we're at, but we'll need a couple guys to step up over this next season. I think we're in a good situation. I think we can go win games. Hopefully, we can actually compete for the Sun Belt this season. Matthew Williams might actually challenge for that starting right tackle position over Bolden. But Bolden is power as well, so it's kind of hit or miss. Depending on, of course, where everybody else is at, of course, we could move guys around and ultimately get guys into better situations. Josh Schulters is pretty high up there. 77. That kind of beats both of them out, right? So if he drops down to 76 at tackle, he would still be fine. That could be an option as well. We'll figure out all that stuff in the next video. Of course, taking on the first game of the season going into UAB. No, UAB's coming to us, and so on and so forth. I don't know. I haven't decided on exactly how many episodes I'm going to do a game. I know the fourth season we'll just do full games at that point, but this season I think we're going to do kind of sort of something different. Not full moments, but not like fully playing offense or fully playing defense at this point. I think we'll maybe hop in when we're behind in certain situations and stuff, but overall, good episode. Like I said, with that being said, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video or any videos here on my channel, I would appreciate if you guys do stick around and subscribe. I'll be back for more videos like this. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.